Thank you, Mr. President, Commissioner and colleagues. The Regulation on Trades Measures is a significant piece of legislation aimed at protecting our common fish stocks. Commissioner Damanaki brought forward the proposal in a direct response to the overfishing of mackerel by Iceland and the Faroe Islands in the North East Atlantic. I was then appointed by the committee to oversee the legislation, and from the outset I received the strongest possible support from my colleagues. And as a committee, we propose broad and hard-hitting measures building on the proposal by the Commission. The trialogue which followed between the European Parliament and the Presidency and the Commission was a success, as all sides entered into talks with the spirit of determination to reach a compromise. And the compromise proves that codecision between the Parliament and the Council in the area of fisheries, that it does work and can result in a better, stronger and more effective legislation. This is a positive sign ahead of the talks on the reform of the Common Fisheries Policy, despite the unacceptable blockage which continues to exist with several long-term management plans. The agreed text will enable the Union to enforce measures against countries or territories which blatantly disregard the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea and the UN Fish Stocks Agreement. The agreement includes quantitative restrictions on fish imports from the stock of common interest and associated species into the EU from the country or territory engaged in unsustainable fishing practices. Significantly, the definition of associated species is broadly defined in the regulation to cover a range of species other than mackerel, for example, and it is based on FAO rules. Restrictions will apply to the use of EU ports and on the sale of fishing vessels, fishing equipment and the supplies to the country or territory deemed to be overfishing. In addition, EU vessels will be prohibited under this regulation from reflagging their vessels to the country or territory engaged in unsustainable practices. The regulation also foresees these measures may be applied under the scope of the regulation if the initial measures prove to be ineffective. The Parliament has now equipped the Commissioner with an effective and a meaningful instrument designed to prevent unsustainable fishing practices. While the regulation may be used against any third countries, the situation in the North East Atlantic is of immediate concern to all of us. Iceland has unilaterally increased its mackerel catch from 363 tonnes, 147,000 tonnes in 2012. The Faroese quota in mackerel has soared from 27,830 tonnes in 2009 to 149,000 tonnes in 2012. And I am extremely disappointed by the failure of the coastal states to reach an agreement in London on 3 September, and I would appreciate learning from them to move the situation forward. I would like, of course, subject to time, to take the opportunity to speak briefly on the Common Market Organisation for Fisheries and Aquaculture Products, the report by Struan Stevenson, an excellent basis for a final agreement with the Council. The Committee adopted several important amendments to the Commission proposal, including the principles of minimisation and avoidance in the first instance and the landing of discarded fish. Also, the Committee adopted clear and understandable labelling on fisheries products. Unfortunately, I do not have time to speak on the other reports. Suffice it to say that I congratulate the rapporteurs for their excellent work. Mar focal score Caerhurley, but while I'm away as the Coronel Dogatanya, a Kudjilum and Tourist Shaw Alwu, I was go hardy in the fishery, Sankoshi East, Hakakia, Lajar, the